Election is being called our most important years. From now till Election Day on November 3rd, iHeartRadio is turning over the airwaves on our radio stations, our podcasts, and even the iHeartRadio app to give you the opportunity to answer one simple question: why I'm voting.
This is Dan from Imagine Dragons. What really matters is that you voted. Otherwise, you're just talking.
To share why you're voting this November, go to iHeartRadio.com/vote. Why I'm voting. The countdown to Election Day. Your vote is your voice.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
This is Fox Sports 1070 The Game, WTSO Madison. Available anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is Talkin' Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. Talkin' Golf is brought to you by
American Family Insurance. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Cherokee Country Club, Madison's only private facility to offer an 18-hole golf course, indoor-outdoor tennis, pickleball, fitness center, outdoor pool, and 2 restaurants. And by Wisconsin.golf, covering the people, courses, tournaments, and golf issues in the Badger State and beyond.
Now, here are your co-hosts for Talkin' Golf, the former Wisconsin men's and women's golf coach and member of the Wisconsin Golf Hall of Fame, Dennis Tiziani, and longtime Wisconsin sportscaster, Paul Brown.
From Cherokee Country Club in Madison, welcome to the Talking Golf Radio Network, along with Kevin Ryan, Dave McCann, behind the scenes, Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. For some people, they may be happy. For others, they may be sad because this is our last show of the season.
There's more sad than, more happy than sad.
I didn't know if you were in a good mood tonight because, seriously, a little bit later on in the show, we're going to talk about golf etiquette and a couple of things in golf etiquette.
Yeah.
And I see you looking out the window here at Cherokee at the 9th green. And here's something that's not golf etiquette that Dennis Tiziani would be happy with. Don't hit about 7 or 8 balls on the green while you're practicing on a golf course.
In front of me.
In front of you. I thought he was going to get a little bit upset, but
No,
you're taking it pretty well.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I had a good meal and it's settling in.
But seriously, if you're on a golf course, don't hit 7, 8 balls into the green.
No.
Come on, that's poor golf etiquette, isn't it?
Well, it is. He shouldn't be doing that. Some people can hit 7 or 8 balls. They're not going to hit the green anyway. So
you're saying there's no ball marks?
There's no ball marks anyway.
Well, let's talk about a happy note. Bobby Stricker, young Bobby, 22 years old today, huh?
Yeah, she's 22 today. Last year of school, degree she's in the School of Journalism.
Going to wind up
and
working.
She's got, she really needs to work. You know what I'm saying? But she's really good at what she does.
I'm not touching that one.
She's really good at what she does, and she's looking forward to be done. Even though I think she has a 6th year that she could go there,
no kidding,
and still play, and then get a graduate degree or stuff. But she wants to get out and work. She's got some pretty good opportunities with NBC and the Golf Channel and people like that are wanting her there.
So you think she'd pass up working for us and go to the Golf Channel?
I think
NBC?
I think she's got a better opportunity there.
Say, speaking of the Strickers and the Tiziani family, we got a fun thing coming up. September 15th here at Cherokee Country Club, there's going to be a golf outing. It's for the Madison Senior Center.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oak Park Place and the Golf Effect are putting on the outing. And just a unique part of the outing, the foursomes are going to compete against another foursome. That other foursome just happens to be Dennis Tiziani, Nikki Stricker, and then the offer may go out to Izzy and Bobby, but both of them could have school, right?
Yeah, but it looks pretty good so far.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So everybody else that's going to play in the outing, you're going to get a chance to say, I beat the Strickers and Tiziani.
Right. Good luck. Put some money up.
And we got room for a couple of foursomes. Actually, it's seriously,
pretty close to full,
it's pretty close to sold out. But if you want the information on a foursome, it's $600 for the foursome, and the money goes to the charity and that type of thing. I guess the simplest thing to do is call me. I'll give you the details.
Right.
And my cell phone number, I'll give it to you.
But make
608.
the check out to the Golf Effect,
Right,
not
right.
to you.
Well,
We
we'll
want the money.
negotiate that.
We want the money.
Cell phone number 608-770-9725.
Why are we doing this? We're buying something.
They're buying audio-visual equipment at the Madison Senior Center.
Yeah,
they
right.
do a lot of educational programming.
Right. And we're going to sponsor that.
And the sound system and the video stuff is not
very
doing
cool.
very well.
Very
So,
good. It's be very good.
608-770-9725. Don't call me now. I can't answer during
Right.
the show.
And we have erasers on our pencils, and you don't.
We'll be back with Steve Stricker after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
3, 2, 1. Grab your phone because now is your chance to win $1,000. Text the keyword HAPPY to 200.
I've got Stricker on the line, guys.
Text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest.
That is correct.
200.
Now that's a parking spot.
Introducing the I may have underestimated the size of my car policy with accident forgiveness from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. Get a quote. Find an agent. Visit amfam.com.
Optional policy features not included in base policies. Review policy coverages and exclusions. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign with a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
4. Wow, you're terrible at golf. Who taught you?
I Googled it.
You need to meet with Tiz.
What's a Tiz?
Dennis Tiziani, Wisconsin Golf Hall of Famer. He has over 50 years of playing and teaching experience with a ridiculous list of championships and champions. Maybe you'd be his next protege.
Where can I find him?
At the golf range at Cherokee Country Club.
Well, what if I'm not a member at Cherokee Country Club?
Well, the golf range is open to the public, but have you ever thought about becoming a member? They have a new membership program where you can pay for what you play, whether you play once a week, once a month, or just want an unlimited option.
Wow, sounds like an ace in the hole. Where do I sign up?
Just call me, Kristen the Piston, at 608-241-8788, and I'll get you all teed up.
Cherokee Country Club is the only club in Madison to offer indoor and outdoor tennis, swimming pool, and social individual, family, and junior memberships. Call Kristen today at 608-241-8788. Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
And we're back at Cherokee Country Club in Madison on our last show of the season, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. And part of our show, been very gracious with his time this year, Mr. Steve Stricker. And Steve, first of all, thank you very much for participating in the show again this year. We sincerely appreciate the time and the comments and all of the stuff that goes with that. One weekend, Dustin Johnson is 30 under par. This past weekend, 2 players are tied at 4 under, and only 5 players were under par in the entire tournament. What the heck was the difference in the last couple of weeks? Have anything to do with the golf courses?
Yeah, I think it all had to do with the golf courses. And the 30 under par is ridiculous, right? I mean, that is unbelievably low. And that tournament's been there a number of years, and obviously he set a record there that week for that tournament, that course. But the last one they just played down in Olympia Fields down south side of Chicago is, you know, they've had a U.S. Open there and other events over the years, and they can make that as hard as they want. It's old school golf, big bunkers. If you hit them in, you can't really reach the green, and the rough was up this year, so It's a very difficult course, but fair course. Everything's right in front of you. I think the fairways looked fairly narrow too while I was watching on TV, and so they 2 different winning scores, by 26 shots, but you got one guy that was in on both of them. So that shows you how good Dustin Johnson is playing and how good his game travels from one kind of setup to another.
You ever have 5 eagles in a weekend? That's incredible. I've been playing golf 50 years. I don't know if I've had 5 eagles.
In 50 years.
In 50 years,
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I've ever had 5 in a year. To have 5, in one tournament is incredible. And but that shows you the length that these guys have and the power that they generate. So it's really some of these courses are becoming, shorter to the standpoint of they got to either move the tees back or do something to the ball, and these guys, if the rough isn't up, they just go ahead and hit driver and they take their chance. And if a guy like Dustin Johnson is on, that's such a powerful advantage that he has when he does drive it well, and he's just hitting short irons to a lot of the holes and reaching all the par 5s into, and even driving some of the par 4s at times.
Steve, when you look at it, the finish yesterday was absolutely incredible. First of all, Johnson makes the putt on 18, which broke in about 2 different directions to force the playoff, and Rahm sinks the longest putt of the season on the PGA Tour to win it. That stuff is incredible, wasn't it?
That is incredible. Yeah, and it wasn't an easy putt. I mean, both those putts had multiple breaks in there, and it's amazing and provides great entertainment for us, right? Watching on TV. So that's one good thing. And but yeah, the odds of both of those guys making those kind of putts is very, very low. So but fun to watch for sure.
There's a lot of guys that we know the name that are not in the final 30. Guys that missed the cut, like Adam Scott, Gary Woodland, Bubba Watson, Jason Day, Matt Kuchar, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Justin Rose, Fleetwood, Ricky Fowler, Koepka, of course, that's an injury, and Jordan Spieth. Are you kind of surprised that some of those guys aren't in the final 30?
Yeah, a little surprised, but if you really dig in a little bit deeper and think about it, it was such an odd year because of the pandemic. A lot of those guys don't play a very full fall schedule. And some of these guys that made the top 30, they play, maybe 5-6 times in the fall and get a kind of a head start. So, the majors, 3 of them didn't happen. 2 of them are going to happen this fall when they, after the playoffs. So that a lot of guys who don't play in the fall, a lot of the top players don't play that much in the fall, maybe a couple times, ended up, missing out on a month or more of play. And then all of a sudden that virus and the pandemic hit, we took all that time off. So they lost all that time to generate points and to play in 3 majors. We missed the Masters, the U.S. Open is in the fall, and the British Open was canceled. So they missed 3 majors to get all these points, and those points are all worth more. Those tournaments are worth more points. So it doesn't surprise me because of just the odd year, but some of them obviously didn't play very well, and but it's just been so strange, and to play without fans has been strange, and to try to even learn to deal with that, because it's just a weird vibe and a weird feeling out there. I think some players have had a hard time with that.
I'm going to mention a few of the top rookies, and maybe you can comment on some that stand out in your mind. Colin Morikawa is in. He's the 5th seed. Brendan Todd is 11th. Scheffler is 17th. Answer is 22 in the top 30. But there's guys like Adam Long and Matthew Wolff. Who are some of the guys that have really impressed you out of those rookies or younger players on the tour?
Well, the first one is Morikawa for sure. I've played with him once in a practice round, but just watching him go about his business, he's just mature beyond his years. You know, he's really ahead of that game mentally. Physically, he gives up some distance really to some of those younger other players that you mentioned, but the way he thinks and the way he hits the ball, I mean, he's very accurate off the tee and very accurate iron player, and chips and putts well. So he's just a great, you know, he's the best out of the bunch, it seems like so far. You look at Wolf, Matthew Wolf, I mean, he's got a lot of power, but I think if he when his mental side catches up to his game, he's going to be a guy that really is going to be, you know, tough to beat because he's got such power. And all those kids you mentioned, they come out of school with a fearlessness about them that they just they have so much confidence. You know, they had a successful college careers and they come out swinging, and they feel like they should be able to compete at the highest level right away, and the majority of them are.
Yeah, switch gears here a little bit. We're chatting with Steve Stricker on our last show of the year. You were paired with Phil Mickelson on the Champions Tour. He wins his debut. That had to be kind of special, though. And what's the obviously there's going to be a lot of impact if Phil plays a lot on the Champions Tour. Will there not be a lot of interest, even more so than there is now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's he's a Tiger Woods name, right? I mean, everybody knows Phil and what he brings to the game, and people want to watch him. I was fortunate or unfortunate, however you want to look at it, to play with him the first round at the Champions event this last week, and I could tell that he was going to be a tough guy to beat, you know. So he still has so much length. You know, there were a couple holes there where I had to lay up, you know, it was like 290 carry over the bunker, you know, to a dog leg, and he's trying to hit driver, and he actually hit driver every time on two of these holes, and he tried driving the green. You know, the green's like 360, and one of the days I saw that he did drive it. So that's hard to compete against. You got to really be on top of your game, and I'm not really at this point, which is fine. But you really got to be doing some extra special things to be giving up 30 and 40 yards to guys who are. And it was the fairways were very generous, pretty wide. So right up his alley just to hit those bombs that he likes to hit. And he played great. He putted great. And he was definitely the guy to beat. But anytime we can have him out there on the Champions Tour is a real feather in that tour's cap and brings a lot of attention to that tour and our sport.
Well, you wouldn't put a little bug in his ear, would you, about coming to Madison next year?
Oh, at some point I will, yeah. And hopefully it works out. You know, we would love to have him for sure, and hopefully he'll make it.
What's your schedule look like the rest of the way? You do get to play at the U.S. Open and that type of thing, and kind of a two-prong thing there, Steve. A little bit about Winged Foot. That's where it's going to be played, and just generally, what's your schedule look like now? I know deer hunting is coming up, so that's got to come into the schedule too.
That is definitely on my schedule.
That's right.
I really only have the Sanford tournament on the Champions Tour is over in South Dakota next week, so I'm going to go over there and play on the Champions Tour. Andy North is a part of that event and the ambassador for Sanford Health. So I'll go over there, play that, and then from there I'm going to go and play the U.S. Open. I was able to get in that for winning the U.S. Senior Open last year, so I get a spot in the regular Open, which is at Winged Foot, a course that actually means a lot to me. I had, you know, I didn't win there or anything. I ended up finishing in the top 10 when the Open was there in 2006, and that was the first kind of confidence booster when I returned to playing better golf. And my swing hung tough on the weekend. I think I was either leading or one back going into Saturday, and the driver was the bugaboo, but that led to my kind of downfall. But when I came back and started playing better, the driver was working, and that tournament I drove it well all the way through the weekend and under the gun, under competition, and that tournament, Wingfoot in general, gave me a lot of pep, a lot of confidence, knowing that the stuff I was working on back in 2006 was going to hold up under the gun. And from that point on, I was off and running, and I owe a lot really to Wingfoot and being there and playing well that year.
Steve, we'll let you go. And again, thank you very much for your participation in the show this year, and all the best to you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed being on there, and you guys are doing great things, and thanks for having me.
Take care. We'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new personal auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that your dreams mean the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Dave Gary with the Princeton Clubs. A great round of golf requires the right club at the right time. Here in Wisconsin, the Princeton Club is the right club at the right time. If you want to improve your game, give us a call for custom golf fitness programs. We work with all types.
All right, guys, I have Eric on the line.
Stamina and overall fitness.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club.
For more information, go to princetonclub.net.
This is Gary D'Amato with Killarney Golf Media. Check out our coverage of golf in Wisconsin and beyond on wisconsin.golf. We cover people, courses, tournaments, issues, and trends. Anything and everything that impacts golf in our state. And keep listening to The Golf Effect for expert analysis, topical dialogue, and great guests. Between wisconsin.golf and The Golf Effect, we've got you covered.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and home to the University of Wisconsin golf teams. University Ridge is now accepting advance reservations for the entire 2020 golf season. To get your prime tee time reserve, call 608-845-7700. For more information about University Ridge, including 2020 green fees, visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers play and the pros play. University Ridge.
The golf season is in full swing, and so is Nevada Bob's. No more curbside deliveries or drop-offs. You get the full in-store service from Joel and his staff. New or used clubs, they got them. Putters, balls, shoes, hats, and apparel for men, women, and kids. Nevada Bob's has you covered. Replace those old grips with new ones. Get a new bag or a high-tech pull cart. Top flight service with a smile. It's like Joel says,
your game, your store, Nevada Bob's, always at the best price.
And we're back on Talking Golf of the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and we're coming up 18 for our season. This is the last show of the year, and joining us now is Eric Knepp, involved with the Madison Parks Department and the Madison City Golf Courses. And Eric, welcome to the show. You were on about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, and we said on our last show we'd do an update to see what the latest information on the status of the Madison golf courses. Before we talk about that, how's the season gone for the city courses this year?
Well, this season has gone phenomenally well. I think golf is certainly something that physical or social distancing is correlated with, and I think a lot of folks are staying closer to home. And we also feel like we've taken a lot of precautions. So we're up about 20%, almost 20% now in rounds year over year. And it's shaping up. I would say it's a little hesitant to say for certain, but I think if we don't, walk off a cliff here with something in weather or COVID in the fall, I think we'll have a record-breaking revenue year and exceed $3.2 million across the 4 courses.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Dennis, golf is up all over, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And especially here, there's so much opportunity for people to play. And frankly, the city courses offer a great opportunity for people to play, both for location, style, and acceptance. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing better.
And the task force that was put together did make their recommendations on the potential changes of the Madison golf courses. And just going through those briefly, and then we'll get the update from Eric. The recommendation was to close 18 holes at Yahara Hills, seek a public-private partnership at Monona Golf Course, and recommended subsidizing courses with taxpayer money. Continue to run Yahara Hills with 18, along with Odana's 18 and Glenway. And then the recommendations right now, where are those recommendations of the task force? And as you look ahead, Eric, exactly where are we?
So the task force has submitted its final report, and tomorrow night it'll be introduced at the council. And I want to be clear, it will be talked about at the council tomorrow night. It'll just be introduced, and then it'll be referred out to a couple of subcommittees of the council or commission. So the park commission actually on Wednesday will be discussing it and may take action on the matter and make a recommendation back to the council. And subsequently, the finance committee will as well, because certainly there's a lot of financial implications here. There's potential that it could be back as early to the council as September the 15th, but I'm not certain of that. And that alders and policymakers could certainly send it to other groups to get referrals and have other folks take a look at it. But I think in general, what we're hearing from policymakers is they feel pretty good that the report was thorough, and the task force took the serious nature of the issue seriously.
Is it possible that by the time the final decision is made, you might be status quo next summer with the city courses, or do you expect changes before next season and at the start of the golf part of it?
Well, it's a little premature for me to say for certain, but here's what I would say. If the task force report was accepted, and that's how it works, the council would accept it in the current format, which is certainly not certain or not positive, and are certainly not guaranteed. If that were accepted, I think it's pretty clear to me looking down that list, the first thing we need to do is work on the request for proposals component for Monona. Now that takes some time and definitely takes a lot of effort to put together a good request for proposals, to receive them, review them, and potentially award a contract or negotiate one. So Monona, I would be skeptical, would be in a contract status for next year, but I'm not saying it couldn't be, but we expect Monona to be open for golf next year either way. And then as that relates to the other holes, though the task force recommends closing 18 at Yahara, and there's a logic to that as far as totality of resources, land, and dollars. I don't foresee my recommendation to the council and the mayor will be to continue operating at 36 for next year because of COVID. We're super busy. We want to provide those opportunities. People are choosing to golf. I think there's a lot of other options they don't have right now. Football season's coming up that won't necessarily be the normal Saturday. So as long as COVID's here and as long as we're not running into large investment issues, we would continue to try to operate it as long as we could until we have a plan for that reduction. Because we don't want to just go out and close 18 randomly. I think it needs to be thoughtful and it really needs to be reviewed by a golf architect.
Eric, could you kind of give us a perspective? There's a lot of speculation, a lot of probably information that people don't understand, part of it myself included. Recently, there was a report on the golf courses, reports that they lost $863,000 in 2018. The losses in 2019 were reportedly about $500,000. At one time, there was a lease with the golf pros, who at that point would be the leasee and that type of thing. And now there's the Golf Enterprise Fund and the monies and those kind of things. What can you tell us about the numbers realistically, if anything at all, in terms of where are they?
No, certainly. And it's a fair question. And I want to start by saying that the golf program in Madison Parks has been operated as an enterprise fund. And that's an accounting policy choice by the council and the mayor for a long time. My understanding is it started in the early 80s, maybe late 70s. So even with the former clubhouse operation model with golf professionals that were independent contractors, that was still an enterprise fund. And what that means is we treat it like not like a park service where we inherently either directly or through implied support have taxpayer dollars behind it. The golf enterprise was set up to be independent of the tax levy. And that does mean it needs to cover its depreciation costs, much like any business would. And it does pay a payment in lieu of taxes. That gets a lot of people in the golfing community hot and bothered. And I understand that very much because no other park service pays that. But that's a payment in lieu of taxes. So it's supposed to get at the idea of the property taxes that would be due on the courses if it were a private operator. Now, is that fair or not fair as a policy choice? That's a good question. I think the task force addressed that, saying they felt it wasn't fair, and they think that right-sizing the golf courses but also taking out enterprise is critical. And as far as the numbers themselves, the numbers you quoted are the comprehensive net income as an enterprise fund. And I want to be incredibly clear to folks that though if you operated golf as a park service, it would do better on the financial books from the golf program. In total, the costs are not fictitious or not real. So if you take the pilot payment away from the city, that means either other city services decline or taxes go up. If you ignore the depreciation, then you're essentially saying the taxpayer will pay for the replacement of the asset. And if you, like unemployment benefits, golf is the only, we have a very seasonal operation, so we have a significant unemployment budget. Golf's the only program in parks that pays unemployment directly. Those are real costs to employees who are laid off. So it's just a question of who's paying. Is it the golf player or is it the taxpayer?
Are you confused?
And like I said, I think the good news for golfers, and I think we'll see if the council and finance committee agree, but the task force felt pretty strongly that golf should be treated similarly to other park services because they found that golf has value. It's not a business. The reason we are in this business or doing the work of providing golf is to benefit the community.
So are you confused yet?
Yes.
It's confusing.
He's
Yeah,
confused.
yeah.
So here I get this. You pay the money, but you pay the money in lieu of taxes, so you really pay it to yourself. Yeah,
I mean it does.
And the
it
second
does,
part,
a component piece. So that said,
and the second part
I
of
want
that,
to be very clear. If you strip out everything you could associate with an enterprise fund and look at the last 5 years, we would have still barely broken even on a cash basis. So that means that assumes taxpayers paid depreciation, unemployment, all that stuff. We would have barely broken even, but we would still be setting on multiple millions of dollars of capital cost.
And that's where I was.
And that's the big number. The capital number is the one that the operating losses are scary. The capital numbers are daunting and nearly unworkable.
Go ahead, Dennis.
no, I like I said, I'm with you. I get confused on it a little bit from an accounting background. Such you're instead of paying taxes. I mean, you're paying it to yourself. Really, you're taking taxes out and putting it in a different account, but it's all part of the city money. Correct?
Essentially, it flows. The way it flows,
Right, but it stays within the city. It goes to nobody else. It goes to nobody else.
Make a payment to the taxpayer.
It goes to the city, not to the taxpayer. Right. So you're changing money around there, and then the fact of depreciation, which is it's certainly an expense from an accounting standpoint because things do depreciate. But if you take out the payment and you take out depreciation, I got to believe you're close to or even making money on the deal, cash wise.
In the last 5 years, if you include unemployment, which is a direct cash charge on a cash basis, we are right about break even.
Right.
That is true.
But Dennis, another thing, and you obviously totally understand this, in terms of the capital improvements that they're thinking about for the golf courses, the expenses don't get any less. I mean, you talk about equipment that you're buying here, where one machine is $80,000. Chemical costs go up every year.
I get
labor.
it.
I mean,
that's what he was talking about,
yeah.
capital improvements and stuff.
Yeah.
But that being said, all of that is right. It's part of doing business in the fact of it's going to be taken care of, whether ever you buy them, whether you pay cash for them, or whether it's all part of the operating. But here's the big thing that I see. Without the city being involved in promoting golf is going to take a serious dip.
Absolutely.
So, we have to do everything we can to encourage that they continue operating the golf courses, or the golf courses continue to churn out golfers, whether the city does it or whether an outside service does it. So to their credit, strictly from a golf standpoint, it's an integral part of the golf network in our city are the public courses.
And Eric, you and I talked a little bit earlier today, and the city courses do have a role to play in all of this, right? In terms of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In terms of
100%.
participation.
I mean, we provide a critical service to moderate income folks across the board.
Absolutely.
We also serve a significant number of our senior golfers and our junior golfers. A lot of folks learn to play on the city courses. I've learned to play on these city courses. They're not very well, mind you. But
we checked you out on that. You aren't any.
Yeah. They say there's words related to birds and eagles and even pars that are these
You don't know what that
things
is.
I've heard about.
So are you saying
I don't know about them.
Eric, are you saying you didn't have 5 eagles in one weekend like Dustin Johnson did last week?
No, I don't believe I've ever had one of those birds. I think there was maybe a birdie in there once on the 8th at Glenway on a lucky rollout.
In kind of wrapping this up, and we sincerely appreciate you being on, what's something that maybe we haven't covered that you feel is very important for the people that play golf on the Madison City courses that they should know? The decisions obviously haven't been made. Do they have any input that would help? Or what would you suggest or say is important that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the input is certainly welcome, and you can email alders if you want. My recommendation, so it makes it to the file for certain, the legislative file. Check out the information out there on Legistar on the city site. If you Google Golf Task Force Madison, you'll find us. And then it'll have an email on there, but parks@cityofmadison.com. You can email comments, thoughts. We've got a lot of them. I respectfully disagree with some, but they're all in the record, and we're going to work through the best outcome we can. And my hope is that golfers stay tuned and see, and we can start to build some trust that the city parks division is certainly interested in playing a role in the greater good of golf. I think we have some innovative things coming. My hope is the RFP is successful. There's some conversations and connections through this whole task force process we've been kind of clued into that might bear some fruit. It's pretty exciting, including things like looking and evaluating potential caddy program as a way to get youth employment engagement. Not everywhere, not required, that kind of thing, but just different novel things. And we're just blessed to have such a broad swath of golfers in this community who continuously provide input and frankly try to steer the ship clear of the dangers that Dennis said. We don't want to lose golf in our park system, and the task force didn't either.
Eric, thank you very much. I know you're involved in a complicated process, and we wish you all the luck in the world in getting that thing completely solved. And thanks for your time on the show.
Yeah, hey, thank you guys. I'll miss hearing you on Mondays. Have a good night.
Okay, bud.
Take care. We'll be back with Tiz's favorite sports writer after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign with a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
All right, guys, we got Gary.
Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells. This Herdston and Pride design not only features stunning views from elevated tee boxes, but it also showcases the natural beauty of the surrounding area that will dazzle your senses. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is unlike many places you played before. A true test of golf for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time online today and see what you've been missing at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, this is Dave Gary with the Princeton Clubs. A great round of golf requires the right club at the right time. Here in Wisconsin, the Princeton Club is the right club at the right time. If you want to improve your game, give us a call for custom golf fitness programs. We work with all types of golfers to increase flexibility, core strength, stamina, and overall fitness.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club.
For more information, go to princetonclub.net.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hey, Lauren, you ready for things to get back to normal yet?
Yeah, I really am. I really miss hanging out with my friends and family, going out to eat, and sporting events.
You should check out Cherokee Country Club this year. You can enjoy sports at a safe distance with our golf range, indoor-outdoor tennis, swimming, and beautiful 18-hole golf course. Also, our sports lounge is open to the public. Have you tried their Friday night fish fry?
No, I haven't. I think that's something my family and I can really enjoy. I'm going to tell my friends about it. Where can we sign up?
Call me, Kristen, at 608-241-8788.
Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
Back on Talking Golf and the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, along with Dennis Tiziani for our last show of the year. And now joining us is your buddy, Gary D'Amato, who, you know what, you don't know this. I didn't know until today when I talked to him earlier. We've got all these wonderful golf courses in the state of Wisconsin. Gets a chance to play them all.
That's all he does.
He was up in Minnesota last week playing golf. What in the world is that all
He's
about?
retired, Paul. Don't you get it? I mean, continued retirement, not just
He's been retired for
go
years.
to Augusta, go here, go
Play
there,
15 times at Augusta. Yeah, cover the Masters. Sit in the press
write a
box.
book.
Yeah,
You're right. Did you finish that book?
I just finished it. Yeah, actually, I did. Yeah.
What's it
About growing
called?
up in the '60s. It's called A Perfect Childhood: Growing Up in the 1960s with Baseball, the Beatles, and Beaver Cleaver.
Oh.
Sid, you were already a grown man by then.
No. I grew up in the Well, I haven't still grown up. It's now the 2000s, but I was around in the 60s doing just that. Are you that old? You're not that old, are you? 50 something?
He's
No,
older
I'm
than that.
54.
54.
54,
See?
yeah.
Right.
How many 64s have you shot in your life?
In mini golf, several.
At home with the
and
scorecard and the
low, a
eraser.
couple
That's
more.
what he's.
Tell us about Minnesota golf in the upper part of the state.
Yeah, it's similar to probably what's going on in the UP. There's really, really good golf courses. I was way up there, Tower, Minnesota. It's about 45 minutes from the Boundary Waters. A place called the Wilderness at Fortune Bay. It's on Indian Reservation. There's a casino, and then I played two courses at a place called Giants Ridge. Spectacular golf. But if you don't fish or play golf, there's absolutely nothing else to do up there.
There are some great courses. I launched somewhat of my career, Pine and Palm, playing in that big tournament up there. That's what got me started. I think I was a sophomore, junior in high school. And the courses up there, they really are. They're phenomenal. You go in Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Northland Country Club.
Beautiful.
Oh, and even the public courses. They're beautiful courses that are there.
You were just on vacation, or was that a business trip for Wisconsin.golf? And are you going to be writing about that or what?
Yeah, I'm going to be writing a story on those two resorts for Golf Time Midwest Magazine, which will come out in March, and then we'll probably run those stories also on our website. But so it was a working vacation. I worked a little bit and played a little bit. Had a good time.
Are you going to play any more courses in Minnesota? I have a recommendation for you.
Okay, what is it?
Check out the Olivia Golf Course right next to Bird Island, Minnesota.
Oh, whatever. You have to be a
Is that where you're
left-hander to
from?
play there. Bird Island. Whatever. Oh, Mr. Minnesota here, him and
Okay.
Larry, they wear purple every day. They wear purple. I just can't believe it.
What's new in the golf world? Any big shaking news on your part? Or any thoughts on what you're seeing with the FedEx?
Well, for one thing, I just can't believe we're at the end of your guys' show. Man, this summer has flown past, but there's still some tournament golf left. The state senior Open is coming up, and a couple more tournaments in September. And boy, I just to segue into the PGA Tour. Wow, what a finish yesterday!
Wasn't that incredible?
incredible. The putt Dustin made was every bit as tough and good as the one that Rahm made in the playoffs. So, man, they're getting some great golf. No galleries, but people tuning in on TV are being treated to some really spectacular and dramatic golf.
What do you think about the whole situation, Gary, from your perspective? You've obviously followed golf for a long, long time, and you look at what's going on. You still got the Masters coming up, the U.S. Open, playing with the new fans. What's your general reaction or feeling about all of this?
You know, I'm glad golf sort of paved the way for pro sports. I think, you know, golf by and large did it right, not only on a recreational level, because golf's been extremely popular, as you guys know, in the state this year. Rounds are up everywhere, and the equipment sales are up, and everything's up. So golf did something right. And then, you know, the first sport professionally to start playing tournaments and games during the COVID era. So, you know, I don't really miss the galleries. I mean, when I'm watching on TV, you know, you see a couple of people standing behind the green, and it looks a little strange at first, but you get used to that real quick. And I think probably by and large, a lot of the players probably like it. But maybe I'm wrong about that. How does Steve feel about no galleries?
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't like it. But I've got another theory about this, Gary boy. If the major money is coming into that tour, coming from TV, right? And everybody is at home watching TV.
Think the rates have gone up?
Think the rates? There you go. You think the rates have gone up? I mean, this is a great thing for that. You know, I mean, and half of the people that are out there watching a hole or whatever, or they're recreating anyway. But here now, I can get to see every hole, every putt, statistics. You can't beat it. The coverage that's getting here. But I think there's an economic uptick here in that TV. The spots are going up. They're getting more viewership than ever, you know.
The thing that I thought was the thing that I thought was interesting is we had Dan Hicks on earlier this year, and what happened this past weekend is exactly from an announcer's perspective.
Right.
We were talking with Dan about the magic moments and how you treat that as a play-by-play announcer, and he talked about just think about a magical putt or a chip in at the end to win a tournament and that kind of thing. And how are you going to carry that through over the air and that kind of thing? And he said, I have no idea how I would react to that. He had two of them.
You're right. Yeah, back to back.
Two of them back to back in the weekend. I would love to have called him and say, hey, how'd you do? I mean, and that
seemed to just jump right in. I mean, oh man, a lot of people jumped right off the couch on that stuff, you know.
Hey, what's your criteria for writing a book? I might have a suggestion on somebody you might want to write about.
Oh, okay. I'm all ears. I've written a few, and a couple of them done okay. A couple of them have barely sold, but that's okay. But I'll listen to anything when it comes to a book. If you have a good subject, pitch it to me. I'm all ears.
Do you have any idea who I might be talking about? Somebody that grew up in the Upper Peninsula, played golf for many, many years, been involved with the golf business for 50 years, was a former Big Ten coach, that type of thing. Does that anybody come to mind?
Oh, I thought for a second you were talking about Larry Tiziani. I guess you're talking about Dennis.
Good. That's a good one, everybody. Oh, you have to have a lot of.
If Dennis ever wants to sit down and to go through some lengthy interviews, I'd love to do it. I think he'd be a great subject, and I think a lot of people would be interested in it.
A lot of redactions there, you know. Have to wait till my family passes before you can sell it.
Gary, you sure you want to sit down with him for hours at a time and talk to him?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I run a tape recorder. It's just we probably couldn't print half the stuff he'd tell me. So.
Well, the language will be great anyway. You know that?
Yeah.
For some people, not all. How about Wisconsin.golf as we wrap this up? Kind of had an association with the show and you guys this year. And if you're looking for information on Wisconsin golf or golf in general, and you haven't checked out Wisconsin.golf yet, you should do that. That site is growing pretty quickly, isn't it? And you're getting a lot of exposure.
Yeah, we're getting well over 100,000 page views a month now. We're going to probably hit 2 million page views for the year of 2020. And, newspapers are struggling and they don't have the bodies or the space or the time to devote to golf. And we feel like we're filling a niche. John Hughes, the owner of our company, I think has really been good to us and let us kind of do our thing. And we have a small crew, but a pretty good one. And I like what we're doing. And I plan to, people say, are you going to retire? And I'm 64. And I'm like, what would I do? Play golf? I do that now.
Right.
So.
You are retired. I'll have a story for you pretty soon.
You'll have a story.
All right.
I'll have a story for you pretty soon. Big
I'm
story.
all ears.
Do you want to expand on that?
No, get on. I told you, stay away from it. But I have a story. For
Yeah.
you.
Well, Gary, we appreciate your contributions. It's fun to have you on, and thanks for being a part of it this year. Appreciate it.
I really enjoy it. Thank you, guys.
All right, bud. See ya.
That's Gary D'Amato of Wisconsin.golf, and we'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and home to the University of Wisconsin golf teams. University Ridge is now accepting advance reservations for the entire 2020 golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700. For more information about University Ridge, including 2020 green fees, visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers play and the pros play. University Ridge.
Now that.
So you guys are going to have like 7 minutes to end the show. 7 minutes.
Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. Get a quote. Find an agent. Visit amfam.com.
Optional policy features not included in base policies. Review policy for coverages and exclusions. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Play the best kept secret in Wisconsin golf. Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells. This Herdston and Pride design not only features stunning views from elevated tee boxes, but it also showcases the natural beauty of the surrounding area that will dazzle your senses. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is unlike many places you played before. A true test of golf for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time online today and see what you've been missing at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Hello, this is Paul Brown. On behalf of Dennis Tiziani and myself, we would like to thank American Family Insurance Company and the Stricker Foundation for allowing us to help them raise money for the Birdies for Health campaign during the last 2 American Family Insurance Championship tournaments. Because of their backing and our efforts of promoting the Birdies for Health campaign, we were able to raise more than $120,000 for Alzheimer's research at UW Hospital. Obviously, that successful effort would never have happened without the very generous support of people in the Badger State and around the country. Not only are we very grateful for the support, but you should know that 100% of the money raised for research went to the Alzheimer's and Dementia Research Center at UW Hospital. Even though the American Family Insurance Championship won't be held this summer, we will look forward to next year's tournament, where we, along with your help, will continue the fight to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease.
Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. And Kevin Ryan and Dave McCann are the guys behind the scene. Kevin, it's been nice working for you. The reason I say that is
for you.
He just suggested that, Tiz, your book should be a coloring book or a comic book.
He's funny. Yeah, he's funny.
We're just going to kind of wrap this up and talk about a number of subjects. And we understand Rob Hernandez may have a question he wants to ask Tiz.
Really?
Dave, have we got
he has not submitted his question yet. I'm waiting for it.
Well, we might do that. Let's talk seriously about golf etiquette a little bit. That's something that I think at times all of us need a refresher course on. And let's start with driving your carts between the edge of the fairway and above the trap. You guys that own golf courses don't like that.
Between the green and the trap?
Yeah.
Well, no, you shouldn't be doing that, but, it is. But, now it goes back to the construction part. I mean, if you constructed it so it didn't have to work, people are going to take the shortest distance between 2 points. That's what's going to happen. And you'll get to some places where there's an investment where there is a ranger that's out there on the course, and talking to people about it. There also is a unit that you can put on the golf car if you want. That as soon as you approach that thing, it shuts off. It shuts off. So that's a way that they've done it. But unless it's a commonly run traffic pattern, the pounds per square inch displacement for that tire on that car is less than your foot. So it's a problem if it continually goes there. But occasionally when that happens, that's not a thing. But it's you can't go between a green and a bunker. That's.
How do you feel about slow play and groups not letting other groups go through?
Well, it's a rule. A foursome has preference.
Okay.
So the foursome has preference.
But what if you're playing slow and holding up other people?
Well, that's another thing. Now, honesty, integrity, courtesy, those are all part of the game. When somebody's waiting, you step aside and let them go through. However, that's a little bit of a misuse with people that want to play by themselves and play in 2 hours or play, in twosomes and go through and get done and go through everybody. The common thing is foursomes have preference. Now, as long as you're playing at a reasonable rate, you should be courteous, let them go through. But in many cases, and I've seen it, where that one-some or twosome takes a little bit of advantage of that foursome.
How about fixing ball marks on green? A lot of people absolutely do not do it. Why is that important to
What are you worried about it? You don't ever hit a green anyway.
Yes, I do. The last time I played on one green, I fixed 6 of them.
They take the cart and they drive all the way around the back and then walk to their ball. They never go down to where the ball hits.
But why is it important to fix them?
Well, if you fix it, the bent grass will grow in. If you don't fix it, that's a mark. And what'll happen that'll come in will be poania, the weed. That's the spread of the weed. That's why you want to fix that, other than the fact that somebody else has to go through it or roll through it or whatever. But the big item is agronomy. If you fix it, the bent grass, which moves laterally, will go ahead and heal as long as it has a level place to go. But if it doesn't have a level place to go, it's a scar. And what'll come in that ball mark will be the weed, poania.
How about replacing divots on tees and fairways? Why is that important? And
well, in bent grass, like I said, it'll grow back. It'll grow. Now, if you're playing in the south and you play Bermuda, once you take a divot, it'll never grow back. Up north here, or when we have bent, replace the divot. If you've got sand in your toolbox there in your golf car, you should put it around the side again to make it level, because with the watering system and the like going on, bent grass grows laterally and it'll fill that in a very short period of time.
All right, we're getting close to the end, but I want to remind you one more time, if you're interested in a golf outing and you want a chance to put together a foursome and compete against Dennis Tiziani, Nikki Stricker, maybe Bobby and Izzy Stricker, and the Madison Senior Center, the outing is for audio-visual equipment that they need to do educational classes. We're going to have a golf outing here at Cherokee, along with Oak Park Place and the Golf Effect are putting it on. And the proceeds will go to that. If you want to put together a foursome and play in the tournament and compete against that group, we figure you'd have to probably be realistically 13, 14 under, right? But the main thing is just have some fun where you can say, we beat Dennis Tiziani, and
chances are that's not going to happen.
We got Rob's question here real quick. David, what is it?
Okay, Rob says it's a swing question. He's coaching a girls' golf team out in California, and he struggles with getting his golfers to make that confident, aggressive swing through the ball. Wants to know if there's any tips to get the girls to do that. In other words, to hit the ball with purpose.
What you want to do is have them take their stance as in a baseball player, okay? And pitch to them an imaginary ball and tell them to swing like you're going to hit it over the fence, and continue to do that. And then after the second or third time, then you'll ask them the question, what do you think went first in your core? What went first? And they'll swing again, and well, my hips go first. Well, here you go. Now, you make your lateral move heel to heel, but hips have to go first. And in this particular case, even though that's the strongest part with them, the girls, knees to their hips, that's where it's good. They'll go ahead, and that's a slow part. It's not hard to teach them, but once they go ahead and you teach them to make the mental commitment to hit the ball hard, just like you did with that baseball, hit it out of the park, hips will go first.
Well, we can end the show on that. How's that? We finish
hips-
with a
Hips on girls? Is that what you
no,
wanna
no,
do?
no. We finished the show with a question from California. How's
Oh,
that?
yeah, right. Well, what's he doing coaching anyway? I mean, hey, man, they're running out of coaches out there. What's he doing it for his daughter, I'm sure. Or is she
But
that
that's
old?
it. Tiz, another season in the books, I guess.
We'll be looking forward to next year. A lot of good stuff going on in the future. Big time stuff in the future. I got him. He was thinking he was
You
gonna,
can't
he was
elaborate
gonna
those
hose
words.
he was gonna hose me into this deal here, and I was the time is up. You know?
It didn't. I tried, but it didn't work. For Kevin Ryan, along with Dave McCann, Dennis Tiziani, Paul Brown, we hope you enjoyed the shows throughout the summer. And hopefully, again, we'll be back next year and do it one more time. So from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, for the last time this year, that's Talking Golf for now on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
This is Fox Sports 1070 The Game, WTSO Madison. Available anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now